ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second panel of Indonesian Blockchain Week. And on our second panel, our topic is very interesting. It's about what's next for Indonesia, navigating regulatory and innovation for crypto assets industry in Indonesia. And today we have four special guests for our panelists for today. First of all, I would love to invite Mr. Satrio Nugroho, Deputy Direktur Pengembangan Inovasi Teknologi Sektor Keuangan, Aset Keuangan Digital, Aset Kripto OJK. Silakan Pak. Next, we are going to have Mr. Tigran, co-founder and co-CEO of D3 Labs. And then we are going to invite Mr. Muhammad Gaffani from PT Tennet Depository Indonesia. Last but not least, Mr. Samantha, PT Nobi Dana Kripto. So, less than a year ago, Indonesia made a pivotal decision, transferring regulatory oversight of crypto assets from accommodating trading to financial service OJK. This move instantly changed the game, transforming crypto asset from speculation to official digital financial assets. The question is no longer if Indonesia will regulate crypto, but what's next? We have the critical foundation players here today, the architect of the rules, OJK, the National Custodian Security of Assets by Tennet, a major crypto fund market operator serving users, which is Nobi Dana Kripto, and the builders of the enterprise rails, D3 Labs. Let's dive in how we turn this new compliance framework and robust infrastructure into Indonesia's competitive advantage for the next wave of institutional and banking adoption. On our first topic, we are going to discuss about the OJK mandate and the new foundations. So I'm going to give the first question to Mr. Satrio. The regulatory transfer of OJK is complete. So what's the OJK mandate priority for 2026? And are we focused on the market expansion or consumer protection in this new era?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Pak Kevin. It's honor to be attend this panel discussion, and we apologize that probably Pak Joko, our head department, cannot attend because conflicting agenda with the fintech Bulan Fintech Nasional. Actually, it's same event here. Actually, for the development for this industry. Actually, as I mentioned before, that OJK mandated to regulate and supervise the financial sector technology innovation and digital financial asset, including asset crypto, based on the law, Financial Omnibus Law 2023. Previously, the crypto was supervised by Bapepti. Now, beginning 2025 is under OJK purview. Actually, OJK already launched the roadmap for the industry, financial sector technology innovation, and also the digital financial asset for 2024 to 2028 as a roadmap for industry to growing further. Actually, in the roadmap, we divided the development through three phases. First, we established the foundation first for this industry. And the second phase would be the acceleration of development and to strengthen the industry. Actually, the phase one is from 2024 to 2025. Now, beginning next year would be, we plan to start for the next phase to accelerate the growing of this industry. And phase 3 for the 2027 to 2028 is to deepen the industry for sustainable growth. Actually, for second phase, we will emphasize to accelerate the regulatory and supervisory enhancement in the crypto asset industry. So we try to collaborate this industry with other traditional financial system, including banking, capital market, and other industry. Probably include the payment. We actually in this industry we also involve the payment gateway to support this industry. And based on the law, we also have established the sandbox to promote the innovation as a precision that now the trend is to real world asset tokenization. Now in the sandbox, there are various business model related to the real world asset tokenization, related to with the underlying of gold, property, and also other securities instrument. I think we together with the industry will promote and how to industry to grow faster, but also still balancing between the innovation and also the customer protection. I think that's maybe.
Thank you so much, Pak Satrio, for the amazing, insightful information. All right, I'm going to give the next question to Mr. Gaffani on behalf of Tennet. So, the legal segregation of custody is critical for institutional trust. Why is this model necessary for Indonesia? And how does it specifically protect Indonesian retail assets from the kind of systematic risks seen globally?
Okay, so my name is Afan. I'm from Tennet. Tennet is a crypto custody in Indonesia. We have license. We have two licenses currently. One is the custody for crypto exchange ecosystem, and the other one is custody for crypto ecosystem non-exchange. So basically what we do in the custody is just to keep the asset, the digital asset is safe. And then in Indonesia we have this rule that 70% of the crypto exchange must put the assets in the custody, which is, this is our partner is ICC. And Tennet is on the business of the alternative custody, that remaining 30%. That is the first one. The second one is also Tennet, along with the OJK vision, is to help regarding the innovation. So in Tennet now, we become like a custody, yes, and also the validator when our partner as a fintech that going into the sandbox when they want to issue the token. So we want to validate whether their tokenized backup asset is there. Okay, we try to avoid any scam and so on like that. So yeah, so one of our client is Nobi. Also, that's why we do the sandbox within in the OJK also. So that's the function when the institutional, they know where their asset is it valid or not, or something like that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gaffani. All right, next question will be for Mr. Tigran. So you work on DLT infrastructure, right? So how do these OJK or Tennet rules affect the enterprise adoption? Does the regulated structure give traditional Indonesian banks the confidence to explore programmable money?
So yeah, I think when we started D3, we started with the notion that there is a gap between these, understanding this technology and then the existing capability from the traditional banks. So that's why the first 1-2 years we've been helping local banks, in private banks in Indonesia, in Singapore, in Thailand to deliver several use cases. However, since bank is highly regulated, right? So we have a challenge in terms of accelerating to move from pilot to commercialization, right? So because dealing with the banks, not only that you have to deal with the innovation team, but you need to deal with the business unit that actually running them, but not stop from that. You're gonna have to prepare yourself to be challenged by its own risk team, right? The compliance team, which is very problematic, right? But things are a bit different with the capital market operator. So with the asset managers, with the securities players, right? Things are a bit more lenient in terms of getting into this space. So that's why when we look into these specific sectors that is actually supervised differently by OJK, things are actually move faster. This is where we see the opportunity to provide infrastructure that actually bridge between the traditional finance and actually the open blockchain ecosystem. So this is where we're a very proud participant of OJK Sandbox, where we're allowed to build this digital financial market infrastructure for digital financial asset issuance. So this is something that we're closely work on with OJK Sandbox team and then also with the policy team to make sure that all the token that will be issued under Indonesian jurisdiction somehow will be accepted by the international or institutional requirement.
Wow, that's a great collaboration, yeah? All right, next move forward, we're going to discuss more into the innovation, friction, and also the user experience. Now I will shoot a question to Mr. Lawrence. So, Nobi operated as a retail intersection. So what is the most valuable innovation, staking as a service, structured wealth products that you are currently holding back because of the regulatory framework is not yet defined?
Right. Well, first of all, thank you for the chance to be here. Hi everyone, I'm Lawrence from Nobi Group. So, we operate exchange and also this Nobi Dana Crypto is a crypto fund. Dana Crypto means crypto fund, literally. And we are part of the OJK Sandbox process. And thank you, Pak Satrio, for the chance to be inside the program. We are here to prove ourselves that I guess everyone here knows that crypto is maturing as a financial asset. And we're not just a commodity, we are now a financial asset. So we need to be able to build financial products, right? And financial infrastructure that people can trust. And Nobi Dana Crypto is basically our attempt to show that I believe that, these days, there's almost nothing new under the sun. Asset management has been around for the longest time, but crypto fund is something that is not yet exists in Indonesia. Some people might be doing it in a personal scale, right? Titip-titip or helping around, right? But I believe that if the industry when the industry grows, then we also need to be able to give people a structure where people can have exposure to crypto funds, something that they can rely on. And I think that's where we are, right? Of course, you mentioned about staking as a service, and then like a structured wealth products. But right now, our product is an index product where it consists of major coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and we basically limit ourselves to that, to the big caps. We try to manage the risk, right? And as I said, we are trying to prove ourselves that we can do this in a totally regulated way, safe, trustworthy way, right? So we're introducing different things like staking or different coins or different kind of exotic products. I think we will come eventually, right? We might even add some tokenized assets from banking or from properties, right? Those things can also happen in the future, but right now we just focus on the structure itself because right now we're building the foundation. Yeah. So that's our take on that.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. All right, you are going to go back to Mr. Satrio and ask you again. So, the innovation often moves faster than the regulation. How does OJK utilize the regulatory sandbox? Is the sandbox the primary mechanism for innovative crypto projects to get an early test run and inform future policy?
Yeah, thank you. I think I'm glad that I'm here with all the sandbox participants here.
Yes, absolutely.
So actually the sandbox is already stated in the law that we have providing the regulatory sandbox that provide space and facilities for testing and development of the innovation before it can be launched broadly to customer. So we can review the risk, mitigate the risk before doing testing before it can serve to the broad customer. Actually, as I mentioned that we, together with industry, actually we encourage the industry to introduce the various innovation regarding the business model. Actually, it's already we're not starting from zero, right? Because it's already happened in other countries globally, the tokenization and the infrastructure, and also the, as mentioned before, the crypto funds. Actually now we, OJK, we together with the association now to develop like crypto Sharia crypto fund.
Sharia.
Because it's already launched in Malaysia and others in Middle East. So actually we, Indonesia as largest Muslim countries,
Exactly.
it would be a benefit to the, so we together with industry how to develop the industry to provide more investment that can compete with the global crypto industry.
I think that's a very interesting take on the crypto Sharia, yeah? All right, back to Gaffani. So, when you launch a product, what is the single best regulatory hurdle you face today? Let's say KYC, AML reporting, or asset classification. And how could OJK simplify that process without compromising safety?
Okay, you are talking about the product of Tennet or the partner of Tennet that are going to the sandbox. Because in Tennet we only have one product, which is custody. That's it, as simple as that. What we have now is we try to help the future or the potential partner when they want to get into the regulatory sandbox. We do like the pre-consultative meeting. We already have some business model that we can support. For example, we can support now in the sandbox. One of our partner also is the stablecoin in IDR. We make before they get into the sandbox, we try to help them. This is the business model. What is the function of the custodian as a tenant? How we mitigate the risk and everything like that. And then, for example, there is when we discuss with Nobi, what is our function? So we do help our potential partner to get into the sandbox as innovation, because much easier for them rather than they go into the sandbox as to put in the OJK system and then get rejected because the business model is not comply with the requirement, especially for OJK. Their target is to secure the investor, especially Indonesian people. So we try to help them to do it like that, as simple as that.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Gaffani. So back to Tigran. From a builder's perspective, what is the valuable innovation, example tokenized service, smart contract application, that is currently difficult to implement due to the lack of a defined regulatory category under OJK?
Well, I think it's quite a privilege when OJK already provide a space for innovation, right? But I think the first phase of OJK's focus is actually on the asset class itself. That's why the first batch of sandbox participant is more into the tokenized asset class, right? And you know, it was tokenized bonds, it was it was a tokenized property benefits, and we also see a tokenized gold. But however, right? So from the learnings, we see this challenge on how can these tokenized asset can be accepted by institutional or global market audience, right? So apparently there are some learnings in which even OJK believe that it requires some kind of a market support infrastructure because that actually can help the issuers to comply with the global requirements as well, right? So this is where our solutions coming in. So what we are actually building is actually pretty much, there are three key components that we building as a part of digital financial market infrastructure. The first one is actually the a standardized tokenization engine. So which we provide a standardization for all unified life cycle which of a tokenization standard, which comply with the institutional standard. The second one, we are testing our own public permission blockchain, where this public permission blockchain is actually comply with Bank of International Settlement Standard in a way that the node validator of its blockchain is a licensed entity, so which eventually will be appointed or approved by OJK to run the blockchain, right? And the third one is the most important part. So we also built our own bridge. So from this purpose-built layer one, we provide the capability for the issuers to bridge to another layer one. So which currently are building a customized bridge to at least 8 layer one protocols. So that's where the liquidities are, right? So, but however, these three things is actually something that even us believe that we'll have some kind of balance between customer protection and also how can we allow a regulated financial product flow into the permissioned blockchain. This is something that we validated. I think me and Pak Satrio had a privilege to be part of OECD roundtable. There's a lot of questions from all regulators and market operators. How can we make it happen? Fortunately, we're doing a testing, which actually a lot of participants quite impressed with those that we're actually doing the testing. So hopefully, we do have a chance, to make this innovation becoming a leapfrog from our industry.
Interesting, interesting. So back to Pak Satrio. I mean, in terms of collaboration, how can builders like D3 Labs work more proactively with OJK to ensure that new enterprise products are compliant by design, instead of having to be fixed later? What is the ideal channel for this continuous feedback loop?
Yeah. Thank you the question. Actually, through the sandbox, we can get the review, the risk, and also get the feedback from the industry itself. And also based on Pak Tigran has explained that actually like crypto and tokenization is cross-border. So every country, the investor, we can issue the tokenization product in Indonesia, then the buyer would be from global. So in last meeting we with industry, with OECD, with other regulator from regional and also global, sharing the challenge about the tokenization and how we can interact, how to harmonize the regulation so the product can be offered globally with the same standard. So I think we can learn from other institution and other regulator how they develop and regulate the program. And also we collaborate with other institution or government institution related to the blockchain, like central bank and also other ministry. So we try to utilize the innovation to get the innovation that can be applied to government program, and how to the crypto industry can support the development through financing and so on. So like as mentioned before, related to the stable coin, we have to coordinate very intense with the central bank related those products.
I think this is a very huge improvement, for Indonesia. So I think moving forward, we want to move on to the next topic in discussing the collaboration, growth, and the global stance. So we already discussed about Indonesian current condition. Now we want to discuss about from the regional view. I think I'm going to ask this question for both Mr. Tigran and also Lawrence, in this case. For the regional competitiveness, when comparing Indonesia to regional hubs like Singapore or Hong Kong, what does our highly regulated domestic market offer that they cannot?
Okay, from the regional standpoint, right, I always, address this to OJK that we actually have a competitive advantage compared to different jurisdiction, right? So we've been assessing different jurisdiction and how can we ensure we stay relevant, right? So yes, some of the other jurisdiction might already issue a regulation, but we can learn what are the constraints. So one of the example, for the Singapore jurisdiction, right? So all of the tokenized securities, whatever the format, whatever the form, it falls under a capital market law, which means there will be restriction in terms of the distribution. So only accredited investor will allow to subscribe. And then if you want to subscribe the tokenized securities, since it's still under capital market law, you need to do all of these wealth declaration. You need to do whitelist, which defeat the whole purpose of blockchain anyway, right? So it's a very difficult for a secondary trading, right? So, and last week, even me and Satrio get it directly, their statement that we won't change it. Singapore don't have liquidity problems, so tokenized securities will always fall under securities law. But however, Indonesia is quite different, right? So our capital market sector, banking sector, and crypto sector is an equal sector. It's very unique. It actually allows from the crypto supervisory sector to issue its own regulation that is actually, as long as it's not overlapping, right? So I think this is where the opportunities lies, right? So that's why between the regulation, we also, there is a needs of a compliant-based infrastructure that ensure that the moment that we allow the tokenized securities flow into permissionless blockchain, we will have ways for the regulatory to have a supervision capability, to have intervention capability, and to do some kind of reverse if things go wrong, right? So these are something that we're designing. So which means that the innovation is not just about tokenizing a product, right? But how can we do balance between, using this technology and then adopting the compliant first method that will ensure, and also with the interoperability so that all the issuers will have a capability to access the liquidity in the Web3 world. So this is something that we are working very closely across different departments of OJK.
All right, amazing. So what's your take, Mr. Lawrence, on this regional competitiveness?
Everything he said. But just adding to that, I think the point is OJK, Indonesia have a good framework, right? I mean, we love to compare ourselves to other countries, and we always thought that, hey, the Western countries are better, Singapore is better, whatever, Japan is better, right? Hong Kong is better, right? But I think in this case, right, I'm not saying that it's perfect, but Indonesia have like a complete plan on how we want to do it, right? I mean, we are still figuring out the details, but the thing is, we have Sandbox, right? And Sandbox program that allows us to do crypto innovation, and I mean, in our experience working with OJK, I think the Sandbox process allows us to actually explore, right? Just as Tigran said, as long as it doesn't intersect too much with the other sector, then we will be able to experiment and check whether this business model is actually viable and can be done. Now, that's not something that we can say in most other jurisdiction, right? I think in most jurisdiction the answer will be like a hard no and no way, right? So at least here we have a way to explore it, right? So I think that's the best thing about us. Yeah.
Just want to add a bit, right? Because we also work with the other regulators, right? And we dealt with regulators that is very top down, right? Out of nowhere that, okay, these are the spec that you use, you just follow, right? But with OJK it's a bit different. There are a lot of discussions, workshops, testings, fail, try again, find other solutions. It's not acceptable and becoming acceptable, right? So I think we're very proud that, OJK themselves willing to learn from us, right? Despite we're a very new organization. So yeah, I think just add a bit on what he's elaborating.
All right. Now moving on to the next question. ask this question for both Gaffani and also Lawrence. Yeah. So the industry desperately needs talents. And where is the biggest talent gap in Indonesia today for the institutional side? For example, custody risk analyst, compliance engineer, and how can ecosystem collaborate to fix this mismatch? So maybe Gaffani can start first.
Okay, so basically we don't lack of talent actually. What we need is to give them a better perspective. I mean, for example, if you are an IT or tech guy, you need to see the point of view of the regulator. Okay, they doesn't want to be high risk, for example. So we need. So the lack is the perception actually. We have a lot of talent actually, but we need to educate them or communicate with them. This is how if you want to enter to the regulatory framework. So basically regarding the analysis, regarding the compliance, sometimes for example now, I think most of our friends that are working in the crypto industry, most of them now are from banking industry. They know the compliance in bank, but they doesn't know the crypto how to do it, for example, or and vice versa. A lot of our friends are in the crypto, they just run it, not taking care regarding the regulator, but when they got invited by a regulator, they doesn't know how to comply with the perception of the OJK or the maybe central bank for the transactional, for example.
All right, how about your take, Lawrence?
I mean, it's a new industry. I mean, the oldest crypto company in Indonesia is probably like 10 years old or something, right? So we're still new. The ecosystem is still new, young and learning. We got a lot. I agree with what Afan said that we need to learn from the traditional finance industry, like banking, capital market, right? There's a lot to learn especially on the compliance matters, right? But crypto and digital assets is an industry of its own, right? There are different things like I think you mentioned about like custody, risk analyst, or compliance engineer, like people who knows about like when you talk to bank officer, they talk about travel rule, right? They don't talk about like blockchain transaction hash, right? They don't talk about like how people move cross-chain, for example, right? And how people like do mixing, right? and all these things, and which is it's a subject of its own, right? And I think we're all also learning, like even when we ask on international companies out there who are dealing with much larger volume, they all also always say that, well, this is also a bleeding edge, right? So it's not that we're behind. Even if we're behind, we're only behind by a couple of years, right? So I think in the end, right, if we have the talents, Indonesians have the talents, and a lot of young talents, senior talents, when they learn about it, this is just a new technology, something not to be afraid of. And when we have these exchanges, these sandbox companies, these projects who are basically trying to push the limit and build a local industry, a local companies, then we will have more and more people know about talents coming into Web3, right? Basically just similar to what happens in Web2, right? Before Gojek, before Traveloka. Yeah.
Yeah, actually talents is that important, yeah? Hopefully we can have a better talents for Indonesia that can reach global impact, right? So back to Pak Satrio, yeah? Pak, what is the single most important action the private sector, for example, like Tennet, Duty Labs, and operators like Nobi can take immediately to help OJK to achieve its consumer protection and growth mandates for the crypto industry?
Yeah. Tadi maybe I would like to add the challenge here for the
Sure,
industry.
go ahead.
Actually, the crypto industry is very new to us as a regulator, maybe for the investor also. So now it moved to OJK, so we need to harmonize the regulation and supervision of this industry to harmonize with other traditional financial sector that already been there, like banking, capital market, or insurance. They already established. So this new industry must first maintain to protect the customer, and so we have to educate the public, also the investor, related to the risk, what the benefit of the crypto for them, probably whether it's suit for their needs. So the problem is sometimes Indonesia is the most one of the largest adoption of crypto. So if we through the socialization or education, we find that many young people, they use the crypto as their first investment. Before is the capital market, now because of the hype and or the yeah the maybe the information from the internet, they find crypto attractive for them. So we have to continue to provide the financial literacy for them, so they can know the risk. And also the challenge that we face is like the cyber risk. Actually cyber risk, and also the potency of the use of the crypto for the illicit fund or illicit transaction. So we have through the regulation, we ask the industry how to protect the industry or this crypto industry from the cyber attack, and also from the use of the crypto for the illicit fund. So I think it's this problem is faced by almost all regulators around the world related to crypto.
All right, amazing answers. I think I'm going to throw one last question for all four panelists for today. I think it's going to be the 5-year vision. So if we meet again at IDBW 2030, what one measurable metrics, example percentage of institutional participant, or total tokenized real estate value, or number of active compliant user, will define Indonesia as having won the crypto race in Asia? So maybe Pak Satrio can start first.
Yeah, maybe based on the roadmap, we have put some quantitative indicator, the target for 2028. We hope we in the end of the third phase, we can find the increasing number of transaction, number of investor, and also the number of business model that can provided by this industry. So we expect the crypto industry also improve the collaboration with other sector like banking, capital market, also probably the other industry as well, not only in financial, that blockchain can be utilized to benefit for our economic development or economic growth.
Amazing. Okay, what's your take, Tigran?
So yeah, from the technology perspective, I hope blockchain will no longer cool again. It's just a default technology we use on daily basis. You know, it's just like electricity, internet, cloud, and blockchain, right? So because we believe it will be utilized across sector, right? We hope that there's no fragmentation of utilizing this technology for any sectors. I mean, now, if I may be super honest, right? There's still a fragmentation between regulating money side and asset class, right? Asset side, which quite painful. I think we have a stablecoin operator, right? I think crying every day about how can these things actually moving. but hope soon across industries, across sectors can, there are ways and regulated standard on how can we use this technology in a right way.
All right, thank you, Tigran. Lawrence, what's the measurable metrics?
In 5 years? Jeez, that's a long time.
Of course.
Eternity
Yeah,
for our industry is eternity.
Yeah, 5 years in crypto is like
Long way to go.
a long way, right? But I think in 5 years, right now, crypto is the new kid. At least in OJK, crypto is the new kid, right? The youngest kid, right, on the family. We're still trying to figure out how crypto can work with the other sectors, like with the capital market, with the banking, with the insurance, right? I hope in 5 years we already figured that out, right? In 5 years, it's normal for like an insurance product to have some crypto, Bitcoin exposure, whatever, right? And it's normal for banks to offer like a financial crypto product, right? And all the guidelines will be there. OJK have all its pay OJK figured out, right? I agree. I mean, crypto will not be this weird thing that only few people knows how to deal with it. It just becomes like a normal financial assets that is global at the same time also local. Yeah, that's my take.
All right, Gaffani, what's your take? 2030.
So Tennet actually is a SRO, self-regulatory organization, or you can say that we are extended arm of OJK. So basically, what is our goals is the mission of OJK, the parameter that OJK give, how many players, how many user, how many business model that we can support it. So basically, because of custodian, our business model is simple, how we can support the ecosystem and along with the OJK mandate, not against each other. That's our goal.
All right, thank you so much, Gaffani, for the take, yeah? And I think today's insights are pretty clear that Indonesia's commitment is to building a secure, institutional-grade market is obsolete. To conclude, the future of Indonesia crypto industries relies on unwavering collaboration between the regulator and the innovator. We must stay focused on utility, compliance, and building a world-class digital economy. So what's next for Indonesia? It's definitely leadership built on trust, institutional integrity, and a user-centric innovation. So I would love to give a very thank you for all the amazing 4 panelists for today. Pak Satrio, Pak Tigran, Pak Lawrence, and also Pak Gaffani. And thank you for all the audience here for having us today. And we can have a group picture together before we end this amazing session.
All right, can we give a big round of applause for our panel number 2 for this first day of Indonesia Blockchain Week 2025. Okay, with our moderator, Pak Kevin Susanto, and also Bapak Satrio from OJK, Mas Tigran Adiwirya, Lawrence Samantha, and also Afan. Big smile, everybody on the stage for such a moment. And all right, thank you so much.